Hey team, it's the Dumb Goose. I just wanted to let you know about an upcoming MMORPG game on PC, slated to release this year. This has next to zero following, but I'm hoping to change that. First, I want to premise this video by saying I'm a huge MMORPG nut. I've been going balls deep in this genre since I was in elementary school, because going balls deep in anything else at that age was forbidden. And these games continued to successfully keep me from pursuing women all through high school, because as much as I loved the ladies, I loved my gear sets more. Why find the love of my life when that purple tier helmet would make me look cool to my guildies who I'll never see in my whole life? When I say out loud what this genre kind of boils down to, it sounds ridiculous. Sounds like I have self-destructive tendencies. But MMORPGs really have a pull on me. My best memories in gaming come from them. It started with Runescape, went to Guild Wars, Lord of the Rings Online. I've been around the block with this genre, and lately no title releasing has really caught my attention. There's nothing that has really changed up the formula enough to get me to endure the grind to max level, just so I can experience the actual game. I've seen some neat ideas for down the road, like Legends of Aria, Project Gorgon, recently just released, and of course Bless Online is dropping this year, which looks mighty pretty and I'll be trying it, but it doesn't seem to do anything too original. So that brings me to this video, and the game I'm about to show you. This is Gran Skrea Online, or Gran Skrea, it's a head scratcher. Anyways, I want to let you guys know that this game feels very alpha at the moment. Like, the Steam page says it's in closed beta and releases as an early access on June 17th, but it definitely feels alpha. I've had the pleasure of trying the game out, and man, I'm telling you, the gameplay may not look that exciting, the graphics certainly aren't that exciting, though I'd argue that makes them a bit charming. I mean, you got the World of Warcraft people like, man, the graphics still pretty good. No, they ain't, but they're charming, so we good. That's exactly what Gran Skrea's got going on. So what makes this game promising? Gran Skrea Online is doing what many other MMORPGs won't. It's understanding what a role-playing online game really is. This game is a fusion of RuneScape, EVE Online, and WoW. Holy shit, those are some great games. Mix them into one and that's the greatest of all time great game. Now these three games I mentioned are obviously unique to one another and all can be considered great RPGs and MMOs. So that's why this combination is so exciting. I'm going to delve into how Gran Skrea is a hybrid of these titles in a minute, but it's important I add a quick disclaimer first so you don't get your hopes up too quickly. There is certainly a long way to go for Gran Skrea, and this is obvious right when you start up character creation, which, by the way, almost had me give up on the game on the spot. My word. But you push past that, and you see that there is a very unique blend of some of the past titans of MMORPGs, as well as a sense of freedom that you only feel in games like the Elder Scrolls. Yes, this game is hopefully going to be awesome, but it is far from being anything but pre-alpha in my opinion. The dev team working on this game is pretty small, so it's understandable that the game has a long way to go, especially for how complex I think this game will turn out to be. What worries me, however, is how Gran Skrea is supposedly in beta right now, and it's supposed to release as early access on June 15th this year, according to Steam. Generally, when a game enters beta, devs are ironing out small kinks, but the core game is there. The gameplay is mostly officialized. So when I enter a zone with a castle that takes up most of the map, and not only is not accessible but it's floating, I get a little worried. The worry grows greater since the zone is only a zone away from the starting zone, which also has a castle you can't access, though I believe this one isn't as stubborn about defying gravity. The castle situation mirrors the state of the game though. The further you go, the less this game is developed. And that is noticeable within the first few minutes of Gran Skrea when you talk to an NPC at the start and you're like, hey, dialogue options! Boy, I'm about to be surprised with the great MMO. And then you go outside the castle to the next guy you need to talk to, and he ain't want to hear it. Sorry's my only option? I'm not sorry. You're being a jackass. I'm in my MMO baby farm here and you won't let me grow and flourish and be the man I want to be for my future MMO girlfriend. JK, there won't be any girlfriend unless I sink really low and declare an NPC my girlfriend. I'm not immune to it, guys. I'm pretty lonely over here. You'll notice the animations are basic, the quests I've done so far are kinda basic, though that could be blamed on them being in the beginner quest areas. Very reminiscent of RuneScape questing, by the way. There seems to be some player housing system that is not instanced and is instead based on plots of land you can claim, which required a buttload of materials to make, so I couldn't personally make one, but I found several houses that seemed to be from other players. It's pretty cool to find random player houses in the world, but again, it just doesn't seem very fleshed out yet. And that's kind of the key here. The game just doesn't feel very developed in any aspect. All the pieces are there to build on and add to, and I'm sure the game devs will do this over time. But right now everything, including the combat, which I'll talk about soon, felt like it was in a bare bones state instead of close to completion, and this will become more apparent as you leave the starting zone. There's areas that are just flat out inaccessible, which yeah, it's beta, but this is a huge amount of each zone that just seems barred off still. I still haven't been able to access a city yet, and some zones literally have nothing to do, like no plants to harvest, no ore to mine, literally nothing but some creatures that were dropped in to smack the shit out of while you try to find said resources. Now that sounds like a lot of negatives. You don't believe in this game, this video, I get it, but let me explain why I keep thinking about Gran Skrea even after concluding my time with it. This game can be the best of many different worlds. Lately, I've found myself hopping between MMORPGs that are great in one way but lacking content other MMOs have. When I tried playing LOTRO, again, for the great story or the style of gameplay. When I started playing Runescape for its unique and unrivaled approach to leveling and freedom of choice, or EVE Online for its intense sandbox PvP gameplay, I just didn't stick with any of them. They're all games I've poured hours into before and I was tired of the same thing. Gran Skrea Online takes the PvP full loot freedom of EVE. It takes a unique freedom of leveling anything you want to from games like RuneScape. It takes a gameplay feel of games like LOTRO and WoW, and it's trying to put them all together. You get that sense of progress constantly when you do anything in Gran Skrea, whether it be fighting a wolf with a depressingly large aggro radius, or just picking some plants, chopping down a tree. You're getting XP that's applying the skills just like in RuneScape. This gives a sense of players having control over the economy of the world, just like they do in RuneScape and EVE, as in everything is created by the players. You get that sense of freedom when you realize you can kill real players and take all their loot. The devs are implementing a system, so there's repercussions for doing so hopefully it won't be as bad a gankfest as EVE. But this could be a great fantasy MMO for EVE players looking for a sandbox in a new setting. That is something I was craving from the Elder Scrolls Online, a true Elder Scrolls experience that lets you do whatever you want, kill whoever you want. But just like in Elder Scrolls games, there's repercussions for doing so, and you develop bounties and guards want to stove your face in. I've so badly wanted a game like EVE with an Elder Scrolls fantasy setting, and ESO just turned out to be a kind of theme park MMO. Which isn't to take away from it because it's really successful for a reason, but it lacked complete freedom. I think adding open world PvP into a game with a good PvE questing elements would bring about the best social interaction in MMOs, because there's so many different unique situations that come from it. Like, you're not going to have a lot of amazing stories while grinding to max level in a theme park MMO, but when you're in a world with freedom to do anything, so many interesting and memorable situations arise, and that's why EVE has been around so long. It provides exciting random moments fueled by players. The only thing EVE was missing was solid PvE. And then you get that sense of traditional MMORPG gameplay made famous from games like EverQuest and WoW, and admittedly Gran Skrea's tab targeting combat is a bit simplistic at the moment, and I haven't experienced any boss fights. I'm not even sure if there are any bosses added yet, but fingers crossed it doesn't boil down to who drops the highest DPS. Regardless, it's kinda neat. I mean, when you equip, say, a torch even, you get a different set of skills that also get added onto the skills you have with the other hand, and the weapon you have in that hand. So if I had a broadsword in one hand, I get the skills for that. If I had a torch in the other hand, I get the skills for that. And they combine and then stab some wolves. Why are your aggro radiuses so big? I say as I shank him over and over. Anyways, it was just honestly a really refreshing experience. It felt like I was leveling up in RuneScape while playing World of Warcraft. I made it 4 hours in just because there isn't enough content to support higher level gameplay right now. But oh my word, devs, if you watch this, please keep working on this game. You've got something unique here. I made this video because I wanted to tell you guys, you MMO lovers, to keep an eye on this game. If you jump in now, you'll get a little taste of something new. But ultimately, there's not much to work towards, or do right now. Or anyone to even talk to. The closed beta is dead. Haven't seen another player the whole time. Which is probably a good thing for them, because they would have been exposed to my grade 5 toilet humor. So keep an eye on this game. While I am worried about Gran Skrea being labeled as in beta, I just hope there's a lot more development on all these currently basic gameplay elements. Gran Skrea could be an absolute banger, and just the game I've been looking for. This could easily be the most promising and unique MMORPG of 2018. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I noticed there wasn't any publicity. There isn't even a trailer for this game yet, so I just wanted to let you know about it. I came across it completely randomly on Steam, and I was like, okay, I need to get into this, see if it's any good, talk about it if it is. And yeah, we're talking about it, so that means it kind of is. It's got some good stuff going for it. It's got a long way to go, though. Anyways, leave a comment, drop a sub, you know how it is. Definitely leave a comment. I love reading comments. So, anyways, yeah, subscribe, stick around. It's gonna be fun. I upload as much as I can. I'm just getting back into the groove of YouTube. So, I'm hoping to bring you guys some awesome content. Alright, take care.